Another bit of interesting news. You're not going to know about this one. This is local. This is from the Minneapolis St. Paul Business Journal, and it's about the University of St. Thomas. Let me give you the background of St. Thomas University, because otherwise you're not going to know. You're not going to be able to guess what I'm going for. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to read this article, and you try to guess what the old captain's going to observe about it, okay? So, background. There's the University of Minnesota, where normal people go, all right? But then, down the river, down the Mississippi River, and you go right, there's the University of St. Thomas, which is in the nicer part of St. Paul on Summit Avenue. That's where all the old money and railroad barons, grain barons, that type of thing. Now, St. Thomas ain't no Harvard or anything, but it's not. It's private. It's more expensive, twice the rate that you go to Minneapolis or the Twin Cities, U of M public school. And there's no real antagonism, though. They're not arrogant or cocky either. So this is not to besmirch St. Thomas. There's always been a good rapport between St. Thomas students and the University of Minnesota students. So this is not to say. If you want to get snooty, if you want to get real assholes, go to McAllister, go to Bethel, go to those type of schools, and then you just or St. Olaf and Carleton down in Northfield. Those are the asshole rich kid private schools. But St. Thomas, oh yeah, they call them the Tommies. Okay, so it's good. Regardless, still rich type of school. From the Minneapolis St. Paul Business Journal, University of St. Thomas will start 2-year college for low-income students. All right? Guess, guys, guess. The University of St. Thomas is launching a 2-year college aimed at lower-income students who could use the low-cost program to move into a 4-year college later. Now, I would have thought right off the bat that's what public school was for. That it's cheaper than private school. So is the private school's cheap tuition for low-income students the same price as a regular 4-year degree over at the University of Minnesota? They're just doubling over the same market, but neither here nor there. The Star Tribune reports on the program, which is scheduled to open in the fall of 2017, though it still needs accreditation to accept students. The Doherty Family College, named after St. Thomas trustee Mike Doherty and his wife Kathy, will cost about $15,000 a year versus $39,000 for St. Thomas's traditional 4-year program. So it asks my question again. Why not just go to the U of M? Honestly, you could just go to a 4-year institution right off the bat. Or even, shoot, $15,000 a year. I think you could get by even cheaper going to a 2-year community college through the U of M system. Grants and other aid could reduce the cost of students to $1,000 per year. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like dirt cheap. It'll also have lower admission standards for students. A GPA of at least 2.5 is required versus the average 3.6 GPA for incoming 4-year freshmen at St. Paul-based St. Thomas. Instead, officials will interview every candidate for personality traits like resilience and academic potential. How do you measure resilience? Do you push them and see if they get back up? If they block you, is that resilience? What is the metric to measure resilience? I just want to know. Students won't live on campus, will attend separate classes, and will have a very specific course schedule aimed at ensuring they'll be qualified to attend a 4-year college at the end of it. All right, and that's what I was asking when the GF sent me this. She was reading to it. We're in the car. I said, read through that. She said that. Now I kept thinking, wait a minute. They're gonna have this low income, less academic performance. Hey, are you resilient type of students coming in to the pristine little campus in the rich side of St. Paul? And I was waiting for her to say they're going to be going somewhere else. And sure enough, there's the money shot. Students won't live on campus. They will attend separate classes and will have a very specific course schedule aimed at ensuring they'll be qualified to attend a 4-year college at the end of it. And then, was that it? I thought I was going to go somewhere else. I thought there was more. Oh, that was it. Anyway, well, that was my point. You couldn't have the precious little snowflakes whose parents are paying $50-$60 a year, by the way, to go to St. Thomas Academy. And then you're going to help the poor, the disadvantaged, or, as I like to say, the lazy and don't give a fucks, who kind of want to mail it in. And I was like, they cannot be letting these people attend the same campus. They will send the students screaming and their parents' money screaming away. It's just like, you ever hear of this multi-income housing? It was this thing that people in the left and municipal circles have been masturbating to since the 1960s. In Ghettos in the Sky, I used to live there, Cedar Riverside Plaza, look it up, it's got a Wikipedia entry. It was supposed to be this 60s utopia housing project where it was close to it was close to downtown, it was close to the U of M, and it was going to be multi-income housing. So the upstairs, the top units would obviously sell for more and have higher rents or higher sales points. The medium would be for middle-income families, and then down below, that's where it would be government-subsidized housing. Well, as every one of these projects turns out, it's, what is it? There's a law. Somebody's law where bad currency drives out good. Where, let's say you have currency, it's all gold and silver, suddenly move 2 tangents away. You have pure gold or pure silver coins in circulation. Well, then all of a sudden, that is replaced with, quote, new official currency that has no gold or silver. Well, people then hoard the gold and the silver because it actually has value, and that takes it out of currency and circulation. And it's the same thing here with these multi-income housing developments, where once you put government housing in there for the dregs and the worst people of society, for the criminals, the lazy, the violent, whatever, it drives out the rest. And so what ends up happening, as was the case with Ghettos in the Sky, is nobody from the middle or upper income classes bought units or rented condos in this place. And it's all piss poor housing. Now, there was a little bit of gentrification in my day where a lot of the college students came in. It goes nearby. And I still think to this day it is that. But now it's basically Little Mogadishu, where it's a third white, not even white, a third college students of various mixed races, and 2/3 Somali and East Ethiopian. Which, in all honesty, they don't commit that much crime. It actually, if you go to Ghettos in the Sky, you're actually kind of safe on the Riverside neighborhood of the Twin Cities. But my point still being is that this kumbaya multi-income housing bullshit never was realized. It turned into a ghetto, especially back in the 60s and 70s. There it was actually dangerous. There it was Shitsville. It didn't turn into this thing where they had even ramps that would go across the interstate and you could just take a trolley, like a gondola, into the downtown area. It wasn't necessarily a dumb idea. But all these great things, all these great ideas that they had was completely ruined because, well, 1/3 of it should go to poor people in government housing. And then they were like, nope, fuck that. Not doing it. And it's the same thing here with St. Thomas. I'm like, if you do that, if no matter what your good feels intentions were for the Doherty family, no matter how well intended they want to do that, if you brought in lower quality students, people who had a 2.5, and all of a sudden you changed the, aside from GPA and academic rigor, you changed it to resilience. I was like, if you throw them in with the lot, you're going to be bringing in more fights, lower quality behavior. Heaven forbid, now St. Thomas, they have a genuinely racist woman over there who she's with Black Lives Matter. So the campus is kind of going downhill in that regard in terms of their academic quality. But all of a sudden, you can have a professor be a Marxist all you want, that one. But if all of a sudden you got a bunch of criminals and not the greatest, not the St. Thomas Academy type people. Basically, it'd be like letting me into a country club. If all of a sudden you're letting me into a country club, the main members are going to say, whoa, what happened to our standards? I'm canceling my membership. All right, that's exactly what's happening here. So now they're going to let in some non-St. Thomas Academy type people. And I was saying, well, this is going to drive them away. It's going to drive the students away, and it's going to drive the parents' money away. Well, then, that's where my money was. I say, they're going to put them somewhere else. Sure as shit, they're not going to be on campus. They're going to have separate dormitories. Where was it? I wanted to hear that. I remember, maybe it was in the Star Tribune article it links to. Hang on. I could have swore they were going to have their own living quarters No, I don't want your ad, Star Tribune. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, special 2-year degree may cost low-income students as little as $1,000 a year. Oh, yeah, you're going to get just the top-notch students there. That's really going to enhance the college experience for St. Tommy's. We believe there's a pressing need in our state right now, Sullivan said. As a Catholic university, she said, St. Thomas is trying to do its part to close the education attainment gap in Minnesota. Oh, you precious fool, Sullivan. Said Julie Sullivan, president of St. Thomas. Oh, Julie Sullivan. You're just going to help the poor kid? Yeah, because like trillions of dollars of government fucking money since the 1960s hasn't closed the gap. But you, Julie Sullivan, who is this precious fucking broad? Let's look her up. Is it Julie or Julia? Julie Sullivan. Hang on, guys. That's it. I had to go to the St. Tom, or I had to go to the Star Tribune site. Julie Sullivan, St. Thomas. Let us look up what her background is. Oh, is that her? Oh, God, if that's her, that only makes so sound. Oh, President's bio. Dr. Julie Sullivan became the 15th president and first layperson and woman to serve as president. Oh, geez, is it going to be this? Oh, did I just uncover a gem? Did I hit gold with this one, guys? It just... Can one of you women, if you make it like the first woman to X, not immediately bring the entirely predictable leftist garbage and claptrap with you? I mean, there's no proof of it yet. I'm going to look at her background and see. Who knows? She could be an engineer. She could be a surgeon. And then she wanted to get into education and help people out. But how many of you want to bet that's not going to be the case as I continue to read through her bio? Oh, and I'm afraid the picture I just saw of her... Hang on, let me take a look at the image. I'm going to base it off of that. I'm going to go... You know what? I'm going to be prejudiced. Before I even read through her bio, I'm going to see what this woman looks like. And if this is the woman that I think it is from this previous picture, I am going to make all of my entire assumptions on that because I truly do believe you can tell. Oh, yeah. Oh, guys, do an image search right now. Hang on. I'm going to give you guys, before we even go into the bio, everybody go on your YouTubes, or not your YouTubes, go on the Googles, go on the Bings, and do an image search of Julie Sullivan St. Thomas. Look at this gal, and you tell me whether you think she was a surgeon or an engineer or somebody who actually worked a real fucking job, or if she's nothing more than a goddamn affirmative action hire. Oh, look at this. Oh. I mean, I could be wrong, guys. I could be wrong. I haven't gone to her bio yet. But how much you want to bet? This is another worthless person who just rose through the ranks of academia because she has vag. And that's her only qualification that this woman is going to do. See, she must have been so pissed off. She probably wanted to bring in these only can afford $1,000 a year tuition type. She wants to help the poor in the community. And she thinks doing what the government's been trying for the past 60 years is actually going to do it. Oh, God. All right, you guys ready? Hang on, let's go back. Let me get to the universities. Okay. All right, let's go to the president's bio. You ready, guys? Dr. Julie H. Sullivan became the 15th president and the first layperson and woman to serve as president of the University of St. Thomas in July 2013, with campuses in St. Paul, Minneapolis, and Rome. Rome? Gee, I wonder why your college tuition's so expensive. St. Thomas is a comprehensive university encompassing 7 schools and colleges serving over 10,000 students and grounded in the liberal arts and Catholic intellectual tradition. Sullivan's prior academic experience includes service as executive vice president and provost at University of San Diego, 2005 to 2013. All right, so she has no real-world experience. And as a professor and administrator of the University of California, San Diego, and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, 1987 to 2003. Does she have no real world experience? None. This is like a politician who's been in office for 40 fucking years. Well, 30, going back to 1987. Her research and teaching has focused on issues related to corporate and global tax planning and financial reporting to shareholders. All right. Maybe she's got a degree in accounting. Maybe she has real-world experience. Old Captain could be wrong here now. But it's kind of like, what have you been doing in academia this entire time? Sullivan is an innovative academic leader with a purpose. Just tell me what she fucking majored in. She's passionate about learning and scholarship grounded in the needs of an ever-changing and more complex world. She is a champion for social innovation. Oh, and has been a leader in the Ashoka Changemaker movement. What the hell is that? Hang on, guys. What is this fucking bullshit? It's like these old farts just go and create crap out of thin air to avoid any kind of real work. The Ashoka Changemakers. Changemakers is an Ashoka program that rapidly accelerates the impact of social innovators' work on critical social issues by building and nurturing networks of... That doesn't mean anything! How do they get funding? What does this mean? Ashoka Changemakers empowers these networks to ignite sweeping change. Changemakers. Okay, it's fucking goddamn bullshit. All right. You smell a rat? You see where the old captain was going with this? Man, I can smell a rat a mile away, can't I? Of course, you could just assume if it's academia, it's bullshit. She's also known for her commitments to globalization and intercultural understanding. Okay, so she's a socialist Marxist. Sullivan shares her education, financial, and business strategy expertise. What business strategy and financial expertise do you have? Things have changed since Reagan was in office. With public and private companies as well as nonprofit organizations. She currently is a board member of TCF Financial Corp., Loyola University Chicago, and Greater Twin Cities United Way. She's also a member of the Minnesota Business Partners. Does she have any experience in business? Has she worked a real fucking job? A native Florida, Sullivan has 3 degrees from the University of Florida, including a PhD in business. Well, what's your fucking undergrad? Okay, here's a PDF file. Where'd it go? I mean, I just want to see a resume. I want to see, did this woman ever work a real job? No. What the hell? Hang on. Let me see if I can find it. Alright, here's a Wikipedia. Maybe I can suss out some math here. Maybe the old captain can reverse engineer this. Alright, born in 1958. So, 1987. Let's subtract that. 1987 minus 1958. 1958. Baby boomer fucks. 29. Alright, so she got her PhD in 1987. No, she started teaching in 1987. So she had a PhD. So let's subtract 8 years from that. So she went to school for 8 years. Okay, so that's 21. Assuming she went into school at 18, she at most she can have 3 years of real world working experience, because then all she did was go right into academia. That's all she did. And she has sat since 1987, never dipping her toe in the real world. And now she's going to run. I mean, I understand that, okay, it does make a little bit of sense that if you've been in academia your entire life, that then, okay, you would go and maybe run the college. I understand that. But again, my number one complaint with all these fucking professors and academians is, you guys are frauds. How dare you teach about business? You've never fucking started a company or ran a business in your life. Certainly more qualified to run a school, I'd imagine. But sitting on the fucking board of Twin Cities Federal? Anyway, it's no shock, guys. Is it any shock that this is what she's gonna pursue? What is this Ashoka stuff? Hang on, that's the one that's not. What is Ashoka? Ashoka. Ashoka was an Indian emperor of the Mauryan dynasty who ruled almost all the Indian subcontinent from 268 to 232 BC. Okay, maybe that's not related. What is the Ashika? What did I say? Ashika philosophy? Ashika philosophy. Hang on, what the... Okay, here it is. The Ashika Changemakers. I gotta know what this is. I tried to read through it before, but it doesn't make any sense. About Ashika's vision, realizing the everyone a changemaker world. What if the world... This is what I don't get about leftists. In 2 million years, do you think maybe humans have optimized or perfected some things? Do you think maybe we've reached the pinnacle of achievement in some areas? I'm not saying all, there's always room for improvement, but do you think some things have been figured out? Like, this is why the Texas legislature only meets once every 2 years, because they didn't want to make more rules. Like, not too far away, across the river from St. Thomas University over in Minneapolis, Betsy Hodges and the fucktards in the Minneapolis Council, they banned plastic bags. It's kind of like, if you're that bored, if we have enough rules and laws that now we're starting to think about banning plastic bags, I don't think we need any more rules or laws. But ironically, you would think that after a while we wouldn't need any more rules or laws, or maybe we'd tweak the ones that we currently have. But ironically, the number of laws and rules and regulations has grown exponentially despite having the kind of key ones knocked out. In other words, like, the 10 Commandments, that kind of take care of most of the stuff. 85% of our problems. And then some, maybe, some code of laws and the Constitution, some general rules. Like, how thick does the rule book have to be for society? How thick does it have to be? But not to the egoist, not to the egotist, not to the narcissist. Not to somebody who has to constantly do something, like our fucking bitch cunt, slut, whore, wench, Melissa Dennison, over in Germany, hanging out with her boyfriend on her parents' money. They have to do something for their own ego, and fuck whether or not society wants it, and fuck whether it's actually good for society. Fuck it if it inhibits society. Why does everyone have to be a change maker? What's wrong with the way it is? What if we've optimized it? I'm here for change. What the fuck? One, you're too young to know whether or not society should change. Two, you're not wise enough to know whether or not the wisdom, common sense. You're questioning your elders, kind of like you listen to your elders because they're older than you and they know what they're doing. There's a reason they tell you these things, that you might have a better life, but to have the hubris and arrogance and ego to say, fuck you, I know better, because change unto its own right is good? Once again, I'm jumping the gun, but the statement here, Ashika's vision, realizing the everyone a change maker world. What if you've optimized the world? And any change would make it a lesser world. It's an insult to the 2 million years of wisdom and experience humans have had. They might have figured it out, and now you're just going to throw that all out because what? You want the masturbation good feels because you changed something. All right, let's continue reading on. The world has always known change, but the change we see today is transforming the way we live, work, and interact at a rate and scale never seen before. Technologies have lowered barriers to participation so that everyone can contribute and act collectively more than ever before. As a result, we are living in a truly historic moment where anyone can create positive change. I didn't ever wake up and say, boy, I want to change shit today. I mean, kind of, you got to think about that. What kind of person? I need to change society. I need to change. I want to influence a positive change. I woke up and says, yeah, I think I need coffee. And I might have to pee. I didn't wake up and say, hey, it's my right to tell society how they're going to change so I can feel good about myself. Now is the moment to ensure that everyone knows that they can change the world for the better and does so. We want to, you know what, that is such a lie right there. I don't believe it for a second. Change the world for the better. No. That's your opinion that you're changing it for the better. And deep down inside, I don't believe one of you actually think it's for the better or something for altruistic to help out the world. You're doing it for yourself. We want to live in a world where every young person grows up to become an adult change maker. Not everyone should. Hitler wanted some change, huh? But hey, look, he wanted change. And in his opinion, it was for the better. Those nasty Jews, a world without Jews, that's change. You know what? He was a young person who grew up to become an adult change maker. And it was in his eyes for the better. So I don't see how you could possibly argue with that. Capable of taking creative action to solve a social problem. Oh, this is hilarious. Let's reread this, but in the context of Nazism. Now is the moment to ensure that everyone knows they can change the world for the better, and does so. We want to live in a world where every young person grows up to become an adult change maker, capable of taking creative action to solve a social problem. A world where the development of young change makers and the practice of change making are the norm. Anything to avoid a real job, hey, Julie? How we work. Our vision and understanding of the world comes from Ashoka's experience of pioneering the field of social entrepreneurship over the last 35 years. Please don't call what you do entrepreneurship. That indicates innovation, creativity, and above all, profit. Profit being the proof, the actual empirical evidence that you have actually advanced and helped people's lives because they gave you money for it. They willingly forked over money saying, hey, I need this product that increases and enhances my life. Finding, selecting, and supporting the world's leading social entrepreneurs, Ashoka Fellows. Oh, this just sounds creepier and creepier. The network of more than 3,000 Ashoka Fellows is implementing system-changing solutions to human and environmental problems in 89 countries. God almighty, did I expose a criminal mafia psychopathic? Oh, I got the heebie-jeebies from these people. Our work with Ashoka Fellows help us see patterns of social development across various fields, providing key levers and a new framework for living in the world as a change maker. We help people see the world differently so they can do differently, fully participating in the new environment. God almighty! For example, Ashoka is building and activating networks to create fundamental changes in the growing up experience of children and young people so that everyone can become a change maker. Oh, God, is this creepy! They want to create activating that one the pablum, what's the word I'm looking for? The pablum and the unnecessary wordiness, the amorphous, non-tangible statements they're saying to simply make it sound like they're doing something important or they're very intelligent. When all it is basically saying is we want to brainwash your children. Look at this. Look at this last statement. Listen to this, guys. For example, Ashoka is building and activating networks to create fundamental changes in the growing up experience of children and young people so that everyone can become a change maker. Hey, how about you get the fuck out of my family and I'll raise my goddamn kids how I feel? Or here's a concept. How about my kids get to do what they want to fucking do? What right is it of yours to building and activating networks to create fundamental changes in the growing up of experience of children and young people? The ideas of Ashoka Fellows today will point to the areas of greatest collective impact tomorrow. God, just they don't say anything. We are investing in the people and patterns of collaborative entrepreneurship that are necessary in an everyone a change maker world. Oh, ooh, this is real culty. President Cappy would send a couple spies into this. Resources, work with us, press and media, events. Where do they get their money? Well, there you go, guys. St. Thomas University. I hope you like your Scientology teacher there, your new dean, your new president. Woof. I don't trust her, guys. I don't trust that at all. God damn it, am I a nice guy? It shows who really cares about you kids. Even though I yell and scream and curse at you millennial college students, I think you're a bunch of fucking retards. But I just want to point out, this is the captain of your ship over there at St. Thomas University now. Kind of, did they sacrifice virgins and little baby children somewhere? I'm imagining there's a chamber underneath St. Thomas. If not, Julie's building it right now. And there'll be sacrifices with goat heads and maybe, I don't know, there'll be a temple of Baal. That's almost conflicting or contradictory, don't you think? She's supposed to be a Roman Catholic, but then she belongs to this other cult? Ugh. All right, let's get some more sponsors in here. AssholeConsulting.com if you guys need help, which a lot of you do. Go to AssholeConsulting.com and contact the old captain. We'll solve your problems for you. At least I'll give you a point in the right direction. Trust you me, it's cheap. It is dirt cheap. Not only compared to what else regular advice and consulting would take you, but the fact that it's blunt and direct and truthful is going to save you a lot of time. And if it can save you from making a painful mistake like going to the University of St. Thomas. What'd you major in? Goat cutting. We majored in goat sacrifice. Dr. Sullivan is our new lord and master. I have a triple doctorate in Ashoka goat slicing sacrifice. Drink from the goat ball sack. So if you don't want to end up like that, go to Asshole Consulting.